Um, okay. The most embarrassing moments in gaming journalism. This should be good. 21 minutes.
Who wants to hear a really funny joke? Gaming journalism.
Yeah, that is true.
I think a lot of people have slowly realized over the years gaming journalism is in dire straits.
Sonic was never good.
For some strange
What?
gaming journalism is in dire straits.
Sonic was never good.
For some
Sonic was never good. But the gay nights are beautiful. 1848 ex voto. That is good. Shut up. Journalists know nothing about games.
some strange reason, journalism, specifically about the gaming industry, seems to have people in it who know next to nothing about video games.
Yep.
Some act like they've never touched a video game in their life, even though that's, their job.
In my opinion, gaming journalists should only be made by people that are actually good at the game. Okay? By YouTubers that are good at the game, for example. And then they give their thoughts, and then that is that. Psh.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a tough game, old school tough, so you better bring your butt stomping A game, as this will test even the most seasoned platforming veterans.
Which begs the question, did these people really want to be game journalists in the first place?
I don't think that they want to be game journalists. I think they are kind of forced in a way.
Or was this their only shot at getting in the journalism industry in general?
Or that, yeah. Or that.
It really seems like it would be the easiest job in the world. Play video games, go to gaming conventions.
Betrayal!
What?
Betrayal! Betrayed me! This game sucks!
Write about them, talk about them. That
I think I talked about Ex Voto. I think he was referring to that trash game. 1548, so, or whatever, Ex Voto.
is like a dream job. So why is this so hard? Why do
Hold on. Am I in the way? Not really, but... Bro, this is the tutorial! It even tells you right here. Tap for short, a short jump. Hold for a high jump. And Y for dash. You have to press Y when you are in the air in order for this to work. How is that difficult? This man, this kind of reminds me of I know the Your Mama guy is controversial now, but it kind of reminds me of Your mama so stupid the joke. Where she couldn't beat the tutorial in Cuphead.
So many games journalists completely drop the ball when it comes to games journalism. There are a multitude of theories, speculations, and attempted explanations, but none of those are concrete. The fact of the matter is,
Too much
speculations and
water!
attempted explanations, but none of those are concrete.
Pros. Gorgeous details. Post-game content. Some smart updates. Cons. Too much water. Too many HMS. Hold on, what is HMS? It's not hints. Home mechanics? Hold on. Wait, what? In games. Oh. Hidden mechanics, okay. Hidden mechanics. Too many hidden mechanics. That's bad. Oh my god. They are idiots. Too many hidden mechanics.
Concrete. The fact of the matter is, games journalists cannot stop embarrassing themselves. So why don't I tell you all about my favorite moments of embarrassment from gaming journalists? These are the most embarrassing moments in gaming journalism.
Okay, everyone, let's see. I know the Cuphead is already the one of the most... What on earth are they even doing? Time moments. Because they suck. These people suck. God Hand review.
God Hand was a PS2 game released in 2006, published by Capcom,
The Badass looks pretty good. It looks pretty good.
and made by Clover Studio. Directed by Shinji Mikami of Resident Evil fame, God Hand is an over-the-top action game, and by over-the-top,
Okay, this looks good. I like it, even if it is a PS2 game. Is it just me, or are PS2 games better? It's just me. Especially the Naruto games. Oh man.
I mean,
They are complaining about that mechanic?
yeah, this game is crazy.
Oh. Okay, no, never mind. Apparently not. Hopefully.
If you have not played this game before, I suggest after this video is over, go seek out a means to play it. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. Every person that I've talked to that's played it loves it. Well, except for one person.
Yeah.
Of all IGN reviews, many of them have been dunked and memed on. There's the well-known Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire review where they said it had too much water, and it got memed to
Yeah. Bruh. Oh, Noah, what do you think of the great flood I used to purge all the evil on Earth? Too much water.
held him back because it sounded so ridiculous. But there
It
is
is.
one
No, it didn't sound ridiculous. It was way over the top ridiculous.
review they will never live down, and that would be the infamous God Hand review. The reviewer gave the game a 3 out of 10, calling it awful. His main criticisms are, the game is boring, it's frustrating, and annoying. That sounds fair enough, at first, but when you really read through it, it becomes very obvious. He was just really bad at the game. He boils down the combat to just mashing buttons when God Hand lets you do crazy stuff like this.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. The journalist was absolutely shit. Yeah, the journalist that played this game is absolutely dog shit at this game. It makes sense. My only question is, why don't these big companies hire Markiplier? Give him a free copy of the game and actually make a good review. Markiplier. Everybody knows Markiplier. You know, give him some money to review the game. And it's only one person. Make him a sponsorship for him to play the game and review the games. That will also be cheaper because, you know, there are multiple people that are gonna play the game and the journalists and stuff. Forget about all of the stupid journalists and pay Markiplier to play the games. Give Markipliers and Jacksepticeye the sponsorships for them to review the games. That will be so much better. Because everybody knows them. Everybody knows how good they are. Everybody knows how much popular even the games will get if they are actually reviewing the games. It's a win-win. And they'll have to pay them less because it's only 2 of them instead of like I don't know how many journalists they are gonna have to review the game. Like, bro.
He then complains he had barely any health going from stage to stage, and this made the game incredibly frustrating.
Tell me you suck at the game without telling me you suck at the game. I had way too little health going on in the game. Because I was getting my butt kicked. That journalist. An awful player that knows nothing about the game. And he only likes to complain about this game. Because he is shit.
When you put 2 and 2 together, you realize this man was most likely mashing buttons throughout the entire game, was getting his ass whooped, and blamed the game when he kept dying.
Yep.
And some of the info is just flat out contradictory. He claims the enemies were bland and generic, while in the very next paragraph talks about demons that will respawn from fallen enemies, which is something I don't think a lot of games do.
The most annoying aspect about this is that you'll often have to fight demon spirits that are raised from fallen enemies. Oh my god! I didn't expect for this journalist to be that shit. That's why companies better give money to Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. Or one of the 2. Okay? They'll have to spend less money for them to test the games. Isn't that crazy? If I have for people to review a game, I would much rather want to reach out to Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and all of these popular YouTubers that are actually playing games to review the games instead.
That wouldn't really qualify as generic, would it? Oh, and by the way,
Okay, maybe that will take a very long time, but you also have to think about that these are big companies. Okay, these are big, like, companies. Okay, and these big journalists know nothing about the game anyway. Why should we even put up with their shit?
did I mention that God Hand has a boss fight like this in it?
Cargon Wild Joker! One hard gangsta Diamond! You can find me at the club! Have your pet neutered or spayed! Ow, 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 ow! I'm hurt! I mean hurt! Together we are the Magnetic Five!
Why are you not playing this game yet? So yes, Too Long didn't read, he's bad at the game. He just didn't get it. 3 out of 10. After this review was made, it's probably one of the earliest examples of people taking the piss out of a professional game website. A lot of people were mocking this dude, and this made
Ah, yes. Chris Roper. Why doesn't he better just lock himself in the basement? For real, games should be rated only by big YouTubers that play games. And of course, the people that actually play the games. But I'm referring to, like, if people want to actually know a good review, and like in big mass, big YouTubers that play games should rate games.
him lash out on the forums. God Hand came and went, but this review did not. For years, this review became the butt of jokes. Anytime a bad game or a literal shovelware got a high score on IGN, it was compared to God Hand. Imagine Party Babies is better than God Hand. Even IGN
Oh. Wow.
is aware of all the crap this review got. They even made a whole video defending God Hand and explaining how good it actually is a few years ago.
My name is Mitchell Saltzman. I work at IGN, and I'd like to say that God Hand, a game that IGN dubbed awful 13 years ago, is, in my opinion, not just good, it's actually
When the website
Finally.
you work for is debunking your review over a decade later, that has got to be pretty embarrassing.
Well, yes. Oh, Smash Bros. Ultimate Disability Slur. Disability Slur, what?
Kotaku has some of the worst articles on gaming I've ever seen. They screw up this job more than any other website on this video. There
Really?
are a slew of articles I could have used for this video. There's the PS5 review where the viewer says he can't enjoy the PS5 because of the state of the world around them. Well, I'm sorry for you, but
What? This has nothing to do with the console. That has nothing to do with the fucking console. What? Oh, I'm sorry that your little ego got crushed because you decided to play your little games on your PlayStation while you were in the bathroom. Why did you even decide to plug your PlayStation 5 in the fucking bathroom, man? Really?
buddy, but that's something for your therapist and not people wanting a review of a game console. But the one I'm going for is from their UK division.
Oh. I actually think the reviews in the UK are even worse.
Smash Bros.
This is a
Ultimate
show.
got its first DLC character with Joker from Persona 5, but along with Joker came with a bunch of songs for the Persona series. One of the songs being from Persona 5 called Wake Up, Get Out There. Pretty catchy song with some nice lyrics. One journalist at Kotaku UK did not think so highly of it. Shortly after the Joker DLC came,
Bro. This same type of people will basically say that I don't know, let me think of an example. The music from Skillet. Hold on, I can't think of the title. Hold on, let me search up on my phone. Skillet. Showtime. Showtime, or even Ocam Emmanuel. Yeah, these songs have millions of views. Yeah? And Ocam Emmanuel was 4 months ago with 2.8 million views. That's is absolutely amazing for them. For Skillet. For everybody working on those musics. And that was only 4 months ago, think about it. 4 months ago only. Yeah. Basically what they are doing is just like me being like a music journalist or whatever. And complaining about the music that Skillet is doing because it doesn't have any swearing in it. Because, you know, rock is typically with like slurs and stuff like that. And that is just dumb. Same here. Oh, I don't like this character, so it's a bad game. That's basically what they're saying. Shoot.
came out, a hit piece from Kotaku UK came out called Smash Bros. Ultimate's Persona 5 DLC contains a disability slur. At around 1 minute
Ah, boo-hoo, cry me a river. A disability slur. What even is that? Boo-hoo, you're hurting my feelings. It's bad. Go in the bin, all of you journalists.
minute 57 seconds, the term retarded is used, followed by the assertion, I can say it. This is the
Retarded. Retarded. That's it. That. In my language, there are way many more slurs, swear words that are a lot worse than retarded. You're kidding me? That is what got this game a bad review? because the journalist got their feelings crushed over the word retarded. They are retards. These people that gave this review to this game are retards.
The clip in question they're talking about.
Ready to pick up the pieces. Let's go. Let's play. Retarded.
Now, I will give the writer this. It does sound like it at a passing listen, but when you really think about it, it doesn't make much sense being in the song. Why is your first response to write a hit piece on it? When you listen to the song, you can tell the person who's singing is very obviously from Japan, and Japanese was their first language, not English. So there's a lot.
Also, basically, the journalists are racist. Cancel them, please. Cancel all the journalists. They are racist. Against Asians. Yes, I'm joking. But by their own logic, they are racists, right? Cancel all of them.
A lot of English in here, and she's still trying to sing in a language she's not native in. So why do you immediately go for the worst assumption possible instead of thinking maybe you misheard something? This article was a joke, and a ton of different places laughed at it.
The likelihood that
Yes. Yes.
they say retarded in this song is 0%. It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Let's go, let's play retarded? When has that ever been uttered in the history?
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. that does make sense. Why would the word retarded even be there?
Of humanity.
And realizing they could potentially be wrong, they started editing it to include disclaimers that it might not actually be the word. But then, Nintendo and Atlus came out and said, no, the song does not include that word. So it made Kotaku and the writer look like complete fools, which they were. They
Yes.
eventually released a statement apologizing and throwing the writer under the bus, and then the writer threw them under the bus. They would later delete the article, and a month after everything blew over, the writer announced they were leaving Kotaku UK to focus on their own projects.
Yes.
While she
Yes.
didn't say the article was a factor for the departure or not, the timing is a bit too coincidental for it to not have been a factor. Mishearing a song lyric, having become the punching bag for a week, and having an article you wrote get deleted, and then leaving the company a month later, that's really embarrassing.
That's not embarrassing, that's a blessing. We don't need people that have zero idea how to actually be journalists in video games. Be journalists.
Probably the most infamous thing Polygon has ever done was the Doom 2016 gameplay video, where the guy playing it acts like he has never touched a video game in his life.
What? Bro. What was that? What was that? What on earth was that? Are...
A blind chimpanzee.
Hold on, let's go back and count how many times he missed.
Polygon has ever done was the Doom 2016 gameplay video, where the guy playing it acts like he has never touched a video game in his life.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
A blind chimpanzee
Four.
probably has
I mean,
better aim
6.
than the guy.
Maybe 7 to 8 shots he missed until he shot him once. I think it was 8. Let's say, actually, now let's be somewhat generous. 7. 7 times he missed. This game journalist. How bad can you be that you miss 7 of your shots? Man, don't make those game journalists play Garden Warfare 2. If someone is playing with the Colonel Corn and they're trying to shoot an imp, they will say that that somehow the imp is cheating for using the gravity grenade.
Playing right now. But everyone knows about this incident. I'm going to be talking about one that's largely forgotten about. Their Bayonetta 2 review. Bayonetta was always Devil May Cry but with boobs.
Let's rock, baby.
That's what the entire series has always been. Hideki Kamiya loved.
To be honest, that game looks pretty good, I'm gonna lie. That game looks pretty good, not gonna lie.
Loves women and the way women look, and he got a character designer who is also a woman to design the character he wanted.
So basically they are sexist. They are not letting a woman designing a character that is a woman. They are sexist. Cancel them. Cancel the game journalist.
So you got an action game with a sexy witch, because that's what Kamiya wanted, and that's what Kamiya got. When it comes to Polygon's review, they spend only a few paragraphs talking about the gameplay itself. It seems...
Oh. Every time when I hear a few paragraphs, I imagine something like... maybe 3 paragraphs. Brother. I know, don't let them don't let them review any FNAF games. They will instantly rate it a 1 out of 10 because they are shitting their pants getting jump scared once.
He's mostly positive and says it does a lot of things better than the original. But that doesn't matter, because 2/3 of it are complaining about the fact the game shows off Bayonetta's assets too much. The game was made by a guy who likes boobs in action. The game is made for guys who like boobs in action, and they have the right to enjoy those if they please. And the entire review is basically trashing the audience this game is intended for. He calls it cheap and pandering. He even docks points from the final score because of it, even though he flat out said it did things better than the original. Like, if you don't like games with cheap boob and ass shots, that's fine. But that begs the question, why the hell are you reviewing a game that was made purposely for that? Like, look at this box art. Look at it. What the hell were you expecting?
I wouldn't mind tasting it.
Oh man,
Brother, this guy stinks. That's my reaction to these game journalists. Every single game journalist... Actually, no, the game journalism in general should be completely eradicated. And companies themselves should actually have sponsorships for gamers. Big gamers, in fact, that would play these types of games.
sure hope this movie called Saw certainly doesn't have any blood or violence in it. Author Gase was the reviewer of Bayo 2 here, and he looks like he just got off recording for some 2000s new metal band. A lot of people complained about this review back then, but it's since fallen into obscurity because, well, other things would take center stage in the years to come. People do bring it up time to time, and Author still doubles down whenever it's brought up. Having to constantly defend your nearly 10-year-old review from criticism, well, that's kind of embarrassing.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, that is that. PlayStation Vita is set to succeed. What?
The PlayStation Vita was a great handheld system. It was sleek, powerful, had a nice screen, and had a lot of good games. The issue is, it was released into a sea of hot competition by a company that didn't seem to care about it. But it still has its fans.
Oh yeah.
Hands up. Easy. You know a girl named Nora? Sure, yeah. Where is she?
In the hospital.
Where in the hospital?
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
And one of those fans worked at IGN. Colin Moriarty is a huge PlayStation fan. No, actually...
Oh my god, he already... Is he... like that? Because...
He's a slobbering PlayStation fanboy. And he, like most fanboys, had a sense of superiority to their competitors. And he was going to express this in a piece he wrote about the PS Vita before it's released. The PlayStation Vita is set to succeed. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting a console you're a fan of to succeed, but this article is more than that. This entire article is pure fanboyism at its finest.
Fanboy or gay? Both. Yeah, both.
If he just wanted to gush about the Vita, that would have been fine. But of course, he had to compare it to the 3DS. He said the Vita was...
What? Why would you compare them? They are two different consoles. What?
Was superior to the 3DS. I mean, hardware-wise, sure, but not just in hardware, in every aspect.
Bro, if he was to compare them and say that, I don't know, him saying it reminds him of the Nintendo 3DS, but has everything improved, and he stopped there, that would have been fine. This is completely unnecessary.
The library, the brand itself, and flat out said the Vita was destined to sell more than the 3DS.
Oh my god. If you want to compare consoles, yeah? Maybe say 3 to 4 things about it, not a full-on paragraph. Jeez.
Yes, and let me remind you, this is for a handheld that had not been released yet. He even flat out says the 3DS is of no concern to Sony. Nintendo isn't even competition to them. The real competition is smartphones. But he says that after he spent most of the article saying how the 3DS is lesser to it, calling the 3DS library Nintendo 64 games and worn out, tired game series. This is one of the most fanboyish, insecure console warring articles I have ever seen. But as we all know, the PS Vita wasn't set to succeed. In fact, it did pretty bad on the market, especially to the 3DS, which also struggled, but still managed to sell 75 million units, while the Vita only sold around 15 million. The market spoke, and the Vita wasn't going to beat the 3DS. Sorry, Colin, but as long as Pokemon exists, the Vita didn't stand a chance. Colin would later leave IGN a few years later to go on his own path, but having this stain of an article still up as a reminder of how much you worship the ground PlayStation walks is incredibly embarrassing.
Why didn't he, like, I don't know, say that the console is basically a portable PlayStation. That would have been a lot better. And accurate.
Now, I contemplated putting this review in here because I actually feel really bad for the guy who wrote this. But it's still a funny story, so I decided to include it anyway.
Alien... Wait. Alien... Oh, Resurrection. Alien Resurrection. Okay, this looks solid. I guess this is like the trailer or cutscene when you enter the game.
Alien Resurrection was a movie made in 1997 and was the fourth film in the Alien franchise. And honestly, it's a fun popcorn movie, nothing else. But being a late 90s blockbuster film, it of course got a game tie-in that was delayed for years and years until it finally came out in the year 2000. The game got middling scores all across the board and is mostly forgotten these days, seeing as it, well, came 3 years after the movie. There was one review on it, though, that while back then wasn't much, today is pretty funny to look at. The GameSpot review, where the reviewer gave it a 4 out of 10, which sort of makes sense for the middling review score. But what is the reason for the 4 out of 10, you may ask? Well... The reviewer's main criticism was the controls. And what were the controls on this game like? Well, in the reviewer's own words, the game's control setup is its most terrifying element. The left analog stick moves you forward, back, and strafes right and left, while the right analog stick turns you and can be used to look up and down. Too often, you'll turn to face a foe and find that your weapon is aimed at the floor or ceiling, while the alien gleefully hacks away at your midsection. Now, does that sound familiar to you?
Oh no, he's in front of me. Let me look up and shoot. Maybe I'll shoot him. What the fuck? Excuse me. What the How? Hey, developers, somehow you're coming across my game, my video. I mean, any game developers, if you'd actually want to have a review, try to reach out for popular YouTubers. Okay? Even if it's just like a beta, have YouTubers review it instead. Never reach out to these types of companies or journalists. Never. Have the journalism be done by gaming YouTubers instead.
Well, it should, because that is the control scheme for every single console shooter used to this day. Yes, this game was one of the first games to use the dual analog setup everything uses now. It was a pioneer, and this reviewer hated the game for it. It's funny to laugh at it now, but you have to remember, back in 2000, a controller with 2 analog sticks was still a new thing, and controlling the game with 2 analog sticks was something never really done. Even a few years into the PS2's life, you still had games using the L and R buttons to control the camera. It was too hard to shift away from what people were used to. So, this review was just kind of suffering from growing pains. The way we control games were changing, and this reviewer could not adapt. It's not really his fault, but it kind of is. Trashing a game for its control scheme that would later become the industry standard is something he could have never predicted, but in the end, it's still embarrassing.
To be honest, if I was the game journalist, I didn't get used to like the the controls and stuff like that, because it was more new and stuff. I didn't, and I wasn't used to it. Maybe I would have given it like an 8 out of 10 instead. I think that's more reasonable. Just because of the controls part, and I can get used to it, but the rest is fine. That's what I would have done if I was that game journalist. Man.
From the creators of Hitman comes Kane and Lynch.
Kane and Lynch Dead Man.
And this is gonna be gold.
Was a game released in 2007, and it was set to be huge. A big, next-gen AAA game that was also a new IP. This game was hyped up quite a bit back in the day. Every place was talking about it.
To be honest, I can see why. It looks good for its time.
And making a huge deal about it. And when the game finally came out, like, it got middling review scores across the board. It wasn't a game changer, but it was fine. That seemed to be
okay. That's fair.
Be the consensus. GameSpot was one of the websites hyping the game up to hell and back. You could not go anywhere on their site without seeing an advertisement for the game. They were telling you to buy it right there and right now.
Really?
And when it came time to review the game, Jeff Gertzman on the staff was ready and able, and the score he gave it, 6 out of 10. So yeah, about what every other site was saying about it. But this was a special case, because GameSpot was very obviously taking handouts from the game's publisher, and once they saw Jeff gave the game a fair and honest review, and not a 9 or 10 out of 10 masterpiece, buy it now, they threatened to pull their...
So basically, these companies are wanting to dick ride the game. Is that even accurate to say? I don't know.
money. This led to GameSpot putting a lot of pressure on Jeff, who stood his ground and refused to back off. This would lead to GameSpot pulling his review and firing him because he wasn't trustworthy enough. Jeff would later go on to form his own game website, Giant Bomb, so he could keep being an honest game reviewer. But this incident is more substantial than you think. This man was fired because he was being honest. He wasn't trying to butter people up or be dishonest with the people who were listening.
Wow. Wow. Even back then, people had a bone to pick with people that are actually honest with the game. Wow.
He flat out told everyone, the game is alright, and he was fired for that. This basically proved what many thought was happening in gaming journalism. It was very possible for the publishers and companies to butter the review websites up with some cold hard cash to sway review scores. This is exactly what happened. With all the advertising for the game, only to be given an average review score, the reviewer was then fired. That basically put huge doubt on any games journalism website. This can happen to any of them, and making everyone...
And that is the reason why game journalism should only be covered by YouTubers that play games, period.
Everyone start to doubt games journalism in general is extremely embarrassing.
I wouldn't say embarrassing, I would say straight up wrong. That's what I would say, it's straight up wrong. For game journalists to actually be good at reviewing games, I think they should do two things. First of all, only talk about the game. Only talk about the game. Yes, and then give the game reviews and scores only based of what the game is trying to do. Like, there should be absolutely no bias for the games and stuff. If it has actually bad and broken mechanics, yes, they should rate that. But if it doesn't, and everything is just coming out of their butt, then yeah, that's not real game journalism. Then they can say stuff like, for example, it's a very good game, but personally it's not for me. Personally, it's not for me. But I would rate this game a 9.5 out of 10. This is what game journalists should do. Give them an honest review of how the gaming demographic would actually rate the game. And then later on say that you personally yourself, you don't like it. That would have worked. That would work for pretty much any situation.
This puts a nice bow on everything. The fact of the matter is, it all comes down to money in the end. Money makes the world go round. Integrity and honesty be damned. Whatever makes me the most green is what matters most. That is what has been the main goal for a long time. In the gaming industry, in the games journalism industry, in any industry. And that probably will be the main goal for as far as the eye can see. Remember, kids, the only...
Yeah, game journalists are not real journalists. Ow. Oops. Okay. Okay. Moral of this video? Game journalists know nothing about games. They cannot, for the life of them, to actually do a good review of a game if the game is good. And all of the games should actually get reviews only from gamers. You know, people that would actually play games. Like, for example, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, these big YouTubers, to name these few as examples. They are the only ones that should be reviewing games. Game journalists know nothing about games. IGN sucks at rating games. So, yeah, as the moral of the video, if you're planning to make games and you want someone to review games, try to contact a YouTuber and have basically like a sponsorship for that YouTuber. You know, pay that YouTuber a couple of money, give that YouTuber the game, then have him or her review the game instead. These game journalists are horse shit at reviewing games. Anyways, I was Darkness Glitch. I'll catch you guys in Ghost next time. See ya.